Hi everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Patty and we have a great and busy video for you today. We are first going to head to Essex, Vermont to my favorite charity thrift store because they're having a fill-a-bag sale for $5. So we are definitely going to be hitting that first. Then it is Vermont Cheese Week. So we're going to take a little drive, a beautiful drive to Waterbury, Vermont, where we are going to go to a cheese tasting at Cabot Cheese. And I am looking for the perfect cheese to pair with a caramel apple cider martini, which I'm going to make for you today. And in order to make that, we also need to go to Waterbury to stop at my very favorite cider mill, Cold Hollow Cider Mill, to get my very favorite Vermont apple cider, Cold Hollow cider. So we have a busy day on tap, a busy weekend on tap, and we need to get started. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Let's get started with the video. All right, everyone, I am back from the thrift store that I went to in Essex. It is called Heavenly Scents. I tend to go as often as I can. They have extremely limited hours, but as luck would have it, it was a fill-a-bag sale. So often when they are transitioning from one season to the next, they like to clear the place out, and it goes in phases, and it will start with like half price and then fill a bag. And then eventually they have, I think, a day where everything is free and they just clear it out and get ready for the next season, which I think is really smart because they have limited space and the point is to move items. So I'm not going to show you everything I got there in the fill a bag because some of the stuff is clothing for my son, which I've already washed and sent to him. And some of it I think is still up in the laundry area, but it's not too exciting. It's clothing. I think I got myself a sweatshirt, like a zip up sweatshirt, and I think another black cardigan, which, I don't need to show you that. But anyway, I did fill my bag. So I want to share with you some of the things that I got that I'm super excited about. And again, this is not exhaustive. I know there is more, but these are some things that I got. I have them right here in my laundry basket, so I will be reaching a little bit. I'm going to start with something that I don't always pick up when I'm thrifting, but I really liked these and I actually have been looking for them. And these are some pointed toe booties. And these were part of the fill-a-bag sale. So I think individually priced shoes, I think typically at the store they're $5 a pair. But these are from the brand Steve Madden, and they look to be in pristine condition. They have a nice leather upper, they have a zipper on the side, and they are kind of on trend with the pointy toe look. And I know high boots are trending for this fall, but I'm probably more likely to wear a low boot. So, and I have a pair of tall-ish boots anyway. But these have a nice black heel for my 50-something-year-old walking. Now, I'm not sure about pointed toes typically because they're not usually comfortable, but these were actually quite comfortable. So they were exactly my size. I tried them on there really quickly because even though it's fill a bag, I just didn't want to take something that didn't fit. So I think these will be really cute. I'm wearing actually sort of wide leg pants and they look very cute with these. They'd also be cute with a skirt or dress and tights. And I was actually looking for a pair of booties for the winter. So I was very happy to find these. Like I said, they're in perfect shape, a nice leather upper, and the brand is Steve Madden. So those I grabbed. And then a couple little things that I snagged to put in the bag are a candle. This probably is a glare on that. I apologize. Maybe, I don't know, it helps at an angle, but this is just a small, I think it's a, oh boy, I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know. I think it's 8 ounces, if that seems right. No, nope, that's not right at all. 3.4 ounce candle. So it's still bigger than a votive candle. It is a Yankee candle, and most of the Yankee candle stores around here have gone out. I used to really like Yankee, but this is a small one. It's never been used, never been burned, brand new. And the scent is fig and clove, which are, I think, beautiful fall scents. I love the scent of clove, and the fig adds just a little bit of fruitiness in there. And I also really, really love this color. It's probably not going to come across great on camera, but it is sort of a fig, well, naturally a fig color. And I actually am looking to get my nails done, and I apologize for my nails. I don't typically take great care of them over the summer because I'm outside in the gardens. So I'm going to be getting my nails done here, and I think this may be a color I'm looking at, this fig color. So anyway, I threw that in the bag. It's just a nice little size for a windowsill or a bathroom. Perfect. And even without being lit, it gives off a really great scent. So any chance I get to grab candles, I do. And speak of candles, here is another thing I grabbed to toss. Sorry, I'm sorry about all this bending over. To toss in my fill a bag was a set of these. I didn't look at them really carefully when I was there, except to note they were new in the box, and they were for made for the Colonial Candle of Cape Cod in Hyannis, Mass. So that's kind of, I was like, oh, they're new in the box, and that's a good, Colonial Candle is a good brand. So that's what they are. There are 6 votives, and I'll slide them out and show you. They are obviously new, and they're all packaged in individual cellophane sealed packages. And they're just silver votives. So I think these will be really great for a centerpiece during the holidays. Let's see if I can get this out to show you. There you go. Just a silver votive. Very nice. I think they will be really cute. I like to burn votives in little sugar dishes, especially pewter ones. So I think this will be a nice addition to that. And I like to, in the fall, particularly start collecting candles for the upcoming holidays. They are expensive, and I almost always see them in thrift stores. So tapers, votives, all of that. It's just a good time to start thinking. Obviously, you can do it all year round, and I do, but I kind of step up my game a little bit this time of year. So I'm actually going to put this with my Christmas things, and it will be nice to have some fresh votives when we transition. So again, small, easy to throw in a bag. Don't need to try it on. I got 2 tablecloths. The first one is this really nice I think it is Mountain Weavers. It is this nice woven tablecloth. It's funny because I've actually, every time I go in this thrift store, I look at this because I now have a small round table in my kitchen, and I have a hard time finding tablecloths for it. So every time I go in, I kind of look at this, but it had a stain on it, and I just didn't want to pick it up with the stain and worry about getting the stain out. But when it was fill a bag, it almost feels like, it's the time to take chances and grab something that maybe you wouldn't otherwise, which can go in your favor if it's something like this, or if it's just more clutter. Then sometimes I buy things because it's a fill a bag that I don't necessarily need. So anyway, I did grab this, and I threw it in the wash with some stain remover, and yesterday was a gorgeous sunny day, so I hung it out on my line to get some nice sun to bleach it. And I am going to report the stain. I can't find it. So I can't guarantee that it's out. I haven't really scoured it, but I didn't see it. So anyway, it was great to grab that. And this will be perfect for, I love a white tablecloth or neutral color tablecloth in my kitchen because it tends to get crowded with a lot of things. So it's nice to have just a nice neutral background. And because it's this woven texture, it's really great for the fall and winter. So I was pleased to snag that and put it in the bag. Okay, the other thing I got, speak of tablecloths, is this beautiful damask or damask, you pronounce it. I pronounce it damask, so if that's incorrect, please let me know. Please correct me. This beautiful chocolate brown tablecloth. This is a very large rectangular one. I think it is 9 feet. That's correct. I think I put it out and it's perfect for my large dining room table. I have been looking for a chocolate brown tablecloth, and this one is so gorgeous. So I'm really happy to have this. So now I have some nice fall colors. This one will be perfect for Thanksgiving. And I have a green one on there right now, which I love. And I'll swap it out for this one. I also have like a gold one in this same damask print, which I think is nice. But I'm super excited. I think this will be so lovely with my gold flatware and my new thrifted glassware with the gold rim. So I'm very, very excited to have found this. I don't remember seeing this one at this shop before, so I don't know if they just put it out. It was perfect timing, meant to be, and I snagged this. So I think that's all I have for you from that particular thrift store because, like I said, a few of the other things aren't going to be of much interest, I don't think, to you. But they are. I did definitely fill the bag, and the bags were $5 for a just your standard brown paper grocery bag. So I thought that was great and a lot of fun. I almost filled 2 bags, but I decided really everything I needed fit into one, and I just kindly walked away. But not far from that thrift store is a Habitat Restore or Resource. There are 2 of them. One is a restore and one is a resource, and I think this is from a restore. I almost never stop there for a couple of reasons. I usually kind of strike out there. A lot of the stuff is in terrible condition and it's really pricey. And I know it's a great charity and a great cause, so I, do enjoy some of them, but this particular one, not so much. And for whatever reason, after I went to the fill-a-bag, I was like, I think I'll just stop in here. I had to drive by it to get back on the interstate. And I pulled in and I almost left because it was crowded and there wasn't a lot of spots. And I thought, come on, Patty, just go. You're not going to find anything. But I went in and guess what I found? You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh at me. Because I do believe thrifting is a streaky business, meaning when you want something and you search for it and you can't find it and you end up breaking down and buying it or finding it once, suddenly it appears everywhere. That's what happened. Look at what I found. Another champagne bucket. So I'm now at 4 of these. It's ridiculous. I do need to let some go, but I do use them all, particularly at Christmas. This one was $10 and it is a virtual twin, identical twin to the one that I ordered on the Instagram store. So they're a matching pair. I cannot break them up. I think it is not as gorgeous as the one I found at the hospital store in my last video, which I will link up here. But it is beautiful. It's in great shape. It has more of a pewter look to it. And the handles have this almost like a heart-shaped design. And then it has the pumpkin edged, or whatever you want to call this kind of edging down here on the base. It's so beautiful, and it is literally identical. I'll insert a picture so that you can see what I'm talking about. It's identical. And so I thought, how nice to have a matching pair. It was $10. I was not going to leave it there. And I grabbed this. I did a go round. I found absolutely nothing else. And I went up to the register, paid my $10, and had a great $15 thrifting day full of delights. So anyway, I just had to share that with you, because let me know in the comments if you believe me. I really do believe it's streaky. It's like, for the longest time, I couldn't find a champagne bucket. And then I broke down and purchased one online, because I never, ever would see them in our thrift stores here. And I was thrifting a lot more then than I do currently. And now in the last week, I have found two. So I'm not sure, maybe my luck is run out and that's it, and that's okay. But I do believe it is a streaky business. So anyway, that I wanted to share with you. I think it's so pretty. And like I said, in the holidays, I like to put a tree in here. It makes for a perfect tree stand. And I do have an extra topiary ball, boxwood topiary ball. So I would love to put these together as a pair. They would be a gorgeous centerpiece on my table. So anyway, that was what I picked up at the Restore this one was in Essex, Vermont. So there you go. All right, everyone, it's Saturday. We are heading out to get some cider and some cheese, and I'm going to prepare a cocktail later. So we are headed to Waterbury, Vermont, to Cold Hollow Cider and hopefully Cabot cheese. Cheers! Well, we have arrived after a gorgeous drive to the Cold Hollow Cider Mill. It is so adorable here. I absolutely love it. Inside, there's all kinds of Vermont products and all kinds of things, but I made a beeline to my favorite, apple cider. And that's where my trip ended. Oh no, that's not true. I did have to grab their famous apple cider donuts to sustain us for the ride home. And here I am with my loot. Now we are off to Cabot Cheese. It is Vermont Cheese Week, and we are really excited to see what's in store. There are several cheese companies represented here, Cabot of course, but a few others, and they had wonderful samples. And while we were here, we ran into our former neighbors and friends whose son owns the Plymouth Cheese Company. And they were there with a tasting, and so we were, of course, totally enamored and grabbed two different types of Plymouth cheese. We grabbed the brie and we grabbed a smoked cheddar. Plymouth Cheese is Vermont's oldest cheese company, and I will link all the information about these Vermont products in the description box below. We also thought these charcuterie boxes were a really cool idea. The ride home was just as beautiful. Now let's go and make that cocktail. Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed that trip to Waterbury to the Cold Hollow Cider Mill, and then to the Cabot Cheese Room where there was a cheese tasting. And I thought it would be fun to put together a little snack with some cheese and apples and a cocktail. So today we're going to be making a caramel apple cider martini, which I think sounds delicious. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my martini glasses into the freezer. I'm going to give them about a 15-minute head start in the freezer so they'll be good and chilled. And you're, of course, going to need apple cider. This is my very favorite apple cider. It is cold hollow cider, which I personally think is the best. And we grabbed this the other day. And I kept it in the very back of the refrigerator so it is good and cold. I do enjoy hot cider for sure, but for this cocktail, we want it good and cold. So you're going to need apple cider. You're going to need, for the caramel part of it, you're going to need a butterscotch schnapps. This is a butterscotch liqueur. I think it will work just fine. The butterscotch schnapps was just a huge bottle. This is big enough, but the only bottle of butterscotch schnapps at my liquor store was massive, so I did not get it. So a butterscotch liqueur, this will give it the caramel flavor, the buttery flavor, so you don't want to miss out on that. So I think there is caramel vodka too, so that would also work. But caramel schnapps is the recommended option. And vodka, of course. And I'm going to garnish my cocktail with some apple slices. It is apple season, max season in Vermont. So I'm going to be slicing up an apple for a garnish. And it's also going to accompany the cheese on the little plate that I'm going to put together to nibble with my apple cider martini. It is a tradition in Vermont and perhaps in other places to have a good slice of cheddar cheese with your apple pie. And my father always enjoyed his apple pie with a slice of good sharp cheddar. So I'm going to kind of work with that today, and I'm going to have a little apple slice and cheese plate along with my caramel apple cider martini. So I think that's all the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need a cocktail shaker, which we will fill with ice, some kind of a measuring jigger, and I think that is it. So let me go ahead and get these glasses into the freezer to chill, and let's get started making our caramel apple cider martini. While the glasses are chilling, I'm slicing up that Plymouth smoked cheddar cheese. I like to slice them in elongated cubes, I guess you could say. And I'm also slicing up some apple slices, which will go on the cheese plate as well as in the martini, just as a garnish. The apples I picked last weekend at Chapin Orchards in Essex, Vermont. These are good old Vermont Macintosh, my favorite. All right, I have my shaker filled with ice. I like this really cold. So I've got 4 ounces of that fabulous apple cider. This is the cold hollow cider, so delicious. And then we're going to put in 3 ounces of vodka. So this is a 2 ounce here, and then 1 here. And then we're going to add 2 ounces of the butterscotch schnapps. I'm going to smell this. Oh my goodness, it smells like a butterscotch candy. Here's my butterscotch schnapps. 2 ounces. In you go. And that is it. I'm going to put the lid on my shaker, and you know the drill. Shake it, shake it, shake it until you cannot hold on to the shaker any longer because it is too cold. So here goes. Cocktail glasses, my martini glasses, out of the freezer, and I'm going to rim them. I have some apple cider in here, and then I have some cinnamon and sugar here. So I'm just going to dip it in the cider and then in the cinnamon and sugar to make a gorgeous rim. Isn't that pretty? And that, my friends, is all there is to it. I will throw in those apple slice garnishes and it's ready to go. Aren't they gorgeous? Well, I'm going to have to try one, but I want to set up my cheese plate and get cleaned up, and we will have our caramel apple cider martini.
So check out these gorgeous caramel apple cider martinis. I can attest to how good they are. And I think I'm going to dub them a Vermontini because the apple slices that are floating in there are from Chapin Orchard in Essex, Vermont. And the apple cider is, of course, Cold Hollow from Vermont. And over here on this little cheese platter, the cheese is Plymouth cheese, which is a Vermont company. Even that little toothpick holder that you see there is from a Vermont artist, a Vermont potter named Susan Leader. The actual little platter that the cheese and apples are on is made by J.K. Adams, which is a Vermont wood company. And even though it's in collaboration with Nora Fleming, whose designs include those gorgeous little charms there where I have my UK football helmet, that was a collaboration with J.K. Adams of Vermont. And that little tray and charm were a gift from my mom, and I love the size of it. So I think this all in all was a great little display of Vermont products. What do you think? I hope you will consider making this caramel apple cider martini, or as I'm calling it, a Vermontini. It is so delicious and all the flavors of fall are represented. And if you want to serve it with a little plate of apple slices and cheese, I think you can't go wrong. Before I sign off for today, I wanted to end the video on a note of beauty and kindness. So I picked these flowers from my garden. These are just cut zinnias, some hydrangea, and then I like to add some cedar for filler. And I put it in this Waterford vase that you remember I thrifted for $3 a few weeks ago. And it is so beautiful. And I ended up putting it on this table. And when I looked up, I was reminded of this act of kindness from one of our viewers. Our viewer, Judy from Maryland, saw that I loved the Robert Ferber monthly flower prints, and she sent me one. And I am finally, Judy, getting around to framing it and putting it on my wall. And I am realizing how similar this floral print is to the bouquet of flowers that I picked. This is the month of December, and I absolutely love this print. I love it here, and I love how it works with the bouquet I picked. But mostly what I love is the kindness of our viewers. It's not about the things, but about the fact that somebody thought of me, saw this, and it reminded them of me. And I just want to thank Judy and all of our viewers for being so incredibly kind. We adore you all, and you are the reason that we love to make these videos. We love the interaction with each and every one of you. We love when you subscribe and give thumbs up, but really we love your comments. And we really do feel like you are friends and family, and certainly part of the relatively refined family. So on that note, I will end this video. I want to thank you all for taking some time to spend with me today. We sure got a lot done and had a lot of fun doing it. Let me know in the comments if you decided to make this caramel apple cider martini and what your favorite part of the video was. All right, everyone, thanks again for watching. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.